Smee! Why is the worm gone?
Coming, Captain!
I would probably say rum. You could pour me some rum.
I didn't know.
Where the f***'s my rum?
Coming, Captain!
Oh, Pirate Grog. If you want to learn more, hit the subscribe button and pull up a chair and we'll chat about it. Arrgh.
Arrgh.
It's the Bar Dad.
Army mateys, welcome back to another episode of the Bar Dad. Arrgh. Arrgh. I have brought my resident Smee.
Yes, sir, Captain!
Kevin. Today we're talking grog. Made famous by pirates. That's why they call it a pirate grog. And other famous sailor people. But this should be a fun episode. We normally do these episodes before Halloween. We missed it this year, so. Arrgh.
You can watch this anytime. Anytime's a good time for grog.
There's no such thing as too much rum. Except for that last swallow. So, rum. We've had a couple episodes on tiki drinks. And by the way,
Okay.
those tiki aficionados out there, there is a tiki drink called Navy Grog. Made famous by Don the Beachcomber and Trader Vic's. We are not talking about the tiki drink. We are literally talking about the crap that they served on ships in the West Indies.
Exactly. So the British Navy, from the early 1600s and actually late 1500s, had always had alcohol and water on their ships as a way of working, stretching the water rations. Desalinating water, taking the salt out of the water, very tough. So they would take big casks of water on board the ships. That water would get stagnant. Nasty, slimy on the top. And so they would always have beer or wine on the ships to help cut that water and make it easier to drink, right? But the beer and wine didn't keep any better, really, than the water did.
So they were screwed as soon as they left port.
Right. So 1655, England, the conquest of Jamaica. Once they got Jamaica, they have an access to cane sugar. And what does cane sugar come out as?
Rum!
Rum would last longer on the ships than the stagnant water would. Then they began using rum as part of their rations in the daily use.
They got like a couple of pints a day of rum.
They did, actually, one imperial pint of ration. So it was a half pint in the morning and a half pint in the afternoon.
How close is that to an American pint?
A little bit less.
A little bit
Just
less.
slightly less, right? But the problem was that the sailors would hoard their rum rations for a couple of days.
So they could get drunk.
And then take it all at once, and drunkenness became a real problem in the British Navy. 1740, enter British Vice Admiral Edward Vernon. Okay, and he decided that he was going to make an official ration of rum, in that he was going to dilute it with the water 4 parts to 1. And the idea was, when the rum was cut that way, it didn't last any longer. It would also go stale, so that they weren't in the habit of hoarding their rum rations.
They couldn't get drunk on it, because otherwise it would go bad.
Exactly. And it also didn't taste very good, but it was still the ability to give them their rum ration without taking it away. That is what came to be known as grog.
So it's diluted booze.
Diluted booze.
Why are we spending any time on the Bar Dad talking about diluted booze?
Because it's part of booze history. And it's an important part of booze history.
You got me there. So where did the term grog come from?
Well, Admiral Vernon was well known for wearing a grogham cloth coat.
Grogham?
Grogham cloth. Grogham.
Okay. What is a grogham?
So it's a very heavy linen, very cotton and linen blend with a little bit of wool in it. And it was great if you were up north, but he was serving in the West Indies and around the North Mediterranean, where it's hot. And he became kind of famous for wearing this grogham coat and got the nickname Old Grog. And then after he diluted the rum, obviously he got a little bit more of a name. And they
named the drink after this guy with this coat.
This guy with his coat. Besides just being diluted 4 to 1, right? Because that's not a great thing. But he did also, in his orders in 1740, make a stipulation that if you were really good with your rations, what the term was, good husbandman of your rations. In other words, you took care of your rations, your bread, your other things. You could trade some of your rations for sugar and lemon, and you could optionally put that in your grog to make it taste better.
Really?
Yes. Let's talk about our country, right? So our Navy obviously was formed out of a lot of people from the British Navy, right? And so we took on most of the traditions of the British Navy, and that included the tradition of grog. But instead of rum, we used spirits that you could get locally, and the official Navy grog was rye whiskey and cut with water. If you remember from our previous episode where we did talk about the Civil War and drinking during the Civil War, check it out here. The temperance movements were coming on in the 1850s and 1860s. So in 1852, the American Navy got rid of grog altogether. But the British Navy kept grog as an official part of the rations.
I know this.
Go.
Until like 1970.
Until 1970, exactly. In the great grog debates in Parliament.
That's like a thing?
That's a thing.
Can I go to C-SPAN and like search the great grog debates?
The grog debates, the rum debates, exactly.
So every British sailor up until 1970 got a daily ration of grog.
Absolutely. So what we're going to make today is we're going to do Admiral Vernon's grog. Okay. Old Grog's grog.
Okay.
But we're going to go ahead and pretend that we were good with our rations and we got some sugar and some lemon. Oh, and one more thing on the lemons. Here's a little thing for you. They would use lemons. In fact, in 1792, it became officially a part of the ration to have lemons.
Sponsored by the Lemon Board of the United States.
So they used lemons.
The fruit for all. You think they'll sponsor us?
They might.
They might, okay.
So they used lemons officially, and that was actually part of the ration beginning in 1792. And you got lemons from Spain. But, unfortunately, Spain allied with France in the wars.
France.
The British Navy lost access to lemons.
Lemons.
So instead, they began to use limes.
French.
Limes. They began to use limes.
Sponsored by the Lime Board
of the West Indies. Because they could get access to limes because they owned the islands that produce limes. And from that, we got the term...
Wait a minute! I know this.
Go.
Limey.
Limeys. That's why the British are called limeys.
And the Spanish were lemonies.
I don't remember that part.
It wasn't in your book?
No, but you tend to rewrite my books pretty often. We will do a lime version and we will do a lemon version because we have both here.
Sunday! Stay tuned for the Grog Off.
There we go.
I don't know where I'm going with that. So now we're going to make the British grog. We're using a spiced rum.
We are, because we talked about that before. That's more authentic to the time period that would have been a spiced rum. That'll work.
That'll work? Okay.
Yep. Okay, and I've already got some rum in here.
Okay. What's next?
And now we're going to dilute it. So
I might have you do that because.
So for our experiment here and for modern taste, we'll just do a half and half.
Half and half. Okay.
Right. Now the lemon and the sugar, or the lime and the sugar to taste.
All right.
That was whatever you think you need. And I would think just one good squeeze of either one. You go ahead and do the lime. I'll do lemon.
Okay.
And then just a sprinkle of sugar.
I'm going to start singing, you know. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the Pirate Grog go down. Pirate Grog go down.
We'll mix it up.
With the official Pirate Grog lightsaber.
So, half and half rum and water, lime or lemon juice, and sugar to taste.
To all our pirates out there.
Arrgh.
Arrgh. Okay, you get everything, right?
Right.
You get the rum, you get the spices from the rum, you get the lime, you get that citrus edge to it. The sweetness is there. You definitely get the water, right?
You do.
But if I was sweltering on a giant ship in the middle of the West Indies Ocean, frying my ass off in 109-degree temperature,
I would take
without
this.
ice. This might work. Now, what we don't have is the algae slime in there, which gives it a piquant aftertaste.
So if you want to go out to a retention pond and get yourself...
Lick the bottom of a duck that's been in a pond. I just used up all my tonic water before the beginning of it. But put a little of like club soda or even a little bit of tonic water in this. It actually would be very good. You know? Now you're ready for the Thrilla in Manila, if Manila was in the West Indies in the 1700s. We're now going to make the American Navy grog, right? Which instead of using spiced rum, we're going to use America.
So a rye whiskey.
Wild Turkey 101 rye. By the way, in the official Bar Dad merchandise.
Okay.
So pour you an amount of rye.
An amount of rye. An equal amount of water.
Sugar. If we're going to do a very fair test, you should use lemon. And I'll use lime in mine. Okay? American Navy grog.
America.
Go vote. Okay, so when you get this, you get a very tropical thing, right? This tastes like a hot toddy.
It does. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm like wrapped in a blanket and reading my romance novel and...
You know, if you did this with scotch, it'd be a Scotch mist.
All right, so here we go. We've got the Pirate Grog, American Navy grog. All right, here we go.
I have to go with the American grog.
They're vastly different, right?
They're very different.
Not even close in terms of profile at all. British grog or the Pirate Grog is very sweet because the rum, obviously, with the cane.
Right. The vanilla notes in the rum go really well with the sugar and the citrus there.
Here's the thing, though. If I didn't associate this with being violently ill, right? When you have your hot toddies.
Okay.
To help, open up the sinuses. There's drinks now that people do honey and lemon, and I'm like, why? That's like going getting a Hall's Mentholymptus.
Easy for you to say.
Mentholymptus. The vapor thing. Like when I have an orange sickle, I think of St. Joseph's baby aspirin that I have with a kid, so I can't enjoy anything orange sickle because it reminds me of being sick as a kid.
Got it.
I think I'm going to vote for the Pirate Grog.
American all the way. There we go.
We're allies now, so it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Don, our resident historian, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
On drinking history here at the Bar Dad, helping us out with grog. And, Don, I hope we're not running out of history. I really enjoy our drinking history too much. So you have to dig into the annals of history. We hope to see you on more Bar Dad episodes, bringing your vast knowledge of getting sloshed throughout history. So
I appreciate it. I love coming here. I love being here. So absolutely.
Cheers. You can never have too much grog on the Bar Dad. Okay, folks, please hit that subscribe button. Maybe up there. Hit that subscribe button up that way. Follow us on Instagram at that. And if you have any questions, if you have some suggestions for our resident professor of historical drinking knowledge to dive into, if you want to learn more information about something you maybe heard from the past, please email us at thebardad@gmail.com. Right? Until next time, keep your friends close and your grog closer. Arrgh.
Keep your friends close and your scotch closer. It's the Bar Dad.